All right. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got Clem, the man that has been dipping his toe into just about every competitive game in the world right before $1 million tournament. The man's a psychopath, and he is naturally very gifted. He's been in Korea recently. I think he's still in Korea, but I think he's about to fly straight over to the World Cup. But because of that, he's playing the Asian Weekly Cups. And this is a match against NightMare, who is building a gateway, but also building a second gateway? Oh my, we're going old school NightMare. Gonna try and cheese NightMare, Clem out. Now, Clem's not scouting. And remember, guys, Clem is one of the most stock standard players who basically defends the way Terran players do. Now, how do you defend as a Terran player? You don't scout, you don't know the rush is coming, you don't change your build. You just micro like the best player in the world with 450 APM, and you defend everything just by microing after seeing units come into your base. Problem, Koreans are very tricky with their aggression, and if you rely just on reactive micro alone, it can be very tricky. Korean Protosses have given a lot of problem for Clem. They've given him a lot of problems in the past. Clem is playing Classic in the first round of the World Championship. It's $1 million tournament. He's playing Classic in the first round. I think it's a really bad match for him. I think Classic is a very difficult opponent for Clem to take on. I think if everything goes smooth and as predicted in standard games, Clem's pretty much the best TVP player in the world. But I've seen a lot of these Korean players trick him, catch him off guard, and throw him out of his element. That's what I'm worried about. Builds like this can definitely do big harm. Zealot's coming, chrono boosting Stalker. The Marine does not see the gateway. He turns around. He's building a bunker. That Zealot's almost here. I think the bunker will get up, but he's gone factory into reactor, which means he doesn't have any unit production for a while. We've got one Marine, a bunker, a couple of SCVs, and a Dream. Problem, one Marine doesn't do a lot of damage. The Zealot and the Stalker can just run straight past and go for the ramp and start trying to kill the reactor after picking off the SCVs. Oh, he might even stop the bunker. You're kidding me. Oh my gosh. Oh, he gets the bunker up. Oh, Clem. And that's the Clem micro I'm talking about, guys. Any other player doesn't get the bunker up, Clem is going to try and build the command center in his face. Okay, that's just, there's cocky. And then what word do you use to describe it? People say, they're like, Rainer's arrogant in interviews. I don't like it because he has a personality. Well, what do you guys call Clem's micro? That's beyond cocky. That is ridiculous. Dude, that reactor's going down. That reactor's going down. If he focuses it, NightMare's not focusing it. You gotta hit the reactor, bro. Reactor's very important. Oh my gosh, he's not... Dude, the Cyclone's almost here. If Clem can save that reactor, that's big. If Clem can save that reactor, that's big! Rain is in the chat. That's why I'm smack talking him right now, guys. I know he likes when virgins in the chat make fun of him. Like, he has a personality. I don't like it. Anyways, command center is here. It's not building, which means we are supply blocked. He took a long time to start building that depot. This is a really big problem for Clem right now. This is a really big problem for Clem right now. If he loses that command center, it is a disaster. Dude, he's committed. He needs to keep that command center up. Cyclone comes down, 2 Stalkers being okay. It's down to 500 hit points. I don't think he loses it. I think he should be fine. Question is, if NightMare throws all these units away, that's when things could swing in Clem's favor. Second Cyclone, more Marines building. Adept randomly shades to the high ground. Cyclone's taking a lot of damage. The Adept's all getting picked off. Oh my gosh. Okay, he's going to get 1 Cyclone. NightMare gets a little sympathy prize there. Does get something, but he's lost 2 Stalkers and 2 Adepts and a Zealot. And this Adept is going to shade into the main potentially. Does cancel at the last second as the Cyclone comes out. Stalker and Adept are heavily damaged, and Cyclone's happy to just take that one on the chin. Doesn't care about the Adept damage that much. Gets itself a Stalker. Gets in. Does it get out, though? No, it does not. Stalker for Cyclone. Normally, not a good trade for the Terran, as the Cyclone is a little bit more of a valuable unit. And I say valuable unit. It does cost the same amount, right? I think it's 125.50 for a Cyclone, 125.50 for a Stalker, but I mean, the Cyclone is better than the Stalker, essentially, in the early stage. The Stalker, once Blink finishes, becomes the better unit. Early on, don't want to be trading 1 for 1 necessarily. Oh, that's really good, though. If you can get this Stalker, good micro on the Cyclone. Dude, Clem just bullying NightMare away from his base, and as the dust starts to settle here, I've got to wonder, was this worth it for NightMare? Because if this gateway goes down, you're in big doo-doo. You're only up 4 probes. Let's check Clem's infrastructure. Factory and Starport are just building their add-ons now. The Banshee and the Cloak starting. A little down on workers is Clem. He's putting an extra depot ahead of time. I think that's just a bit of a safety precaution. And he doesn't go for the gateway just yet, realizing that's incredibly risky. Meanwhile, this is guys, yeah. I love that Clem just like waltzes into the Korean server and is like, hey guys, I'm one of the best players in the world. And every Korean server is like, welcome to Korea, French boy. And he's like, why are they smiling like that? Why are they smiling? And I'm like, because they're going to cheese the crap out of you, Clem. And you're going to learn what Koreans do to people who hop into the Korean server and start to play their tournaments, mate. They are going to bring out some nasty. This is a 5-gate Glaive Adept Prism attack. Now, this is either beautiful genius or it's going to be destructive garbage. And I'm erring on the side of beautiful genius because he's gone Banshees and tanks and cyclones, which means Stim has not started. There's no third barracks finished yet. You got no damage output. Unless you build like 3 bunkers right now, you're in trouble, number one. Number two, how do you block adepts on this map? Even if you wall off the front, they can just drop here. Even if you're covering there, they can drop in the back of your main, and they can shade in between the bases like crazy as well. So this is just a very hard situation to deal with. That being said, oh, there's a back. And how does NightMare know? Did he see this? Oh, he saw it. He did actually spot cloak on the way. So he's got an observer and 3 stalkers ready. Not the best micro for NightMare, guys. Going to be a little critical of this one as the Banshee flies right past him and he does nothing. NightMare. I know he's focusing on the Prism. Okay, the Prism gets in the main. That's why. Prism flies straight into the main, warps in the Adepts on his face. A few probes go down, but the Banshee's going to die on the other side of the map. The Stalkers will deal with it eventually. Nice Prism micro on a few of those Adepts to juggle them to the back. Few Adepts will shade down to the natural. The Prism, though. Oh, don't lose the Prism, mate. Not the best micro on this, I think, from NightMare. But, oh, the Adepts trying to get on top of those SCVs. The tank, can it go down? Can he kill the tank? Remember, they don't do much damage to non-light units. The tank is a heavy armored unit, but it survives. More Adepts warping in the back. NightMare is making this game chaotic. Now, Clem should have no business holding this. No business at all. He's already down to 26 workers, but he's getting a good group of Marine Marauder up. He's got a Banshee in there. Adepts don't shoot up. So those Banshees are slowly going to be wearing on this and damaging it down. Another Banshee popping out is going to do even more damage. Clem needs to micro this, though. He should be getting free damage right now. The other Banshee actually survived, but the Stalker warps in. That's going to go down. Meanwhile, Adepts are over there. More Adepts come in with the Prism. The Prism goes down! Clem may lose his Banshee on the front, but he shuts down the Prism, shuts down those Adepts. These Banshees getting kills. No, NightMare! I think NightMare might be screwing the pooch right now, guys. He may be wetting the bed a little bit. I feel like this one was a little bit of a layup, but he's lost his Prism. He's losing his Adepts here to the Banshees with not that much damage. The Banshee lived, chat saying? No, it didn't. No, it died. It died, guys. It died. It did not cloak. Chat's like, it cloaked, the Banshee lived. No, the third one popped out at home. He didn't manage to cloak it. He built a third Banshee at home. Yeah, you can see he's lost one. He cloaked it. Oh, he cloaked it up here. This one, I guess it cloaked to fly home from there. That's what they're talking about. Oh, yeah, you guys are right. You guys are right. That must have been from like a little bit earlier. Oh, don't lose these. Clem. As long as Clem keeps the Banshee threat alive, it forces observers and stalkers to be on the defense. Meanwhile, more Adepts are looking for another YOLO. Stim has finished, as has +1 weapons though. So I think you want to save these Adepts for counterattacks when Clem moves out on the map. NightMare is going to go for the absolutely perverted observer that sets up right inside. This is literally sneaking a webcam into your buddy's bedroom for science. This is like, you know, you're over there, you just like, I just want to see what he does when he's up to it. It's weird. It's super weird. It's very invasive, but that is how Protos play in PvT. If you get that vision information advantage, you can make some very good choices. A couple of SCVs go down. 8 probes just went down to the Banshees, though. 8, man, for one Banshee is big. Adepts are going to shade in, going to get the revenge. 14 SCVs, 15. Dude, this game is chaos. This game's actually chaotic fun. This is awesome. 16 SCVs, but wait, more probes are going down as well. Oh my gosh, gets 2 more probes, 3 more probes, and gets back. Remember, the dead space on this map is a nightmare. There are so many angles you can come in with air harass. It's so hard to deal with. It's so much. You can't even cut off a Prism. It can just fly around your base, come in from like 7 different sides. Now, the lack of a third base is NightMare's biggest problem, as well as the fact that he just keeps hemorrhaging probes. He's building more gateways on 2 base, no third nexus. This tells you NightMare has given, and he's making a forge. This is a terrible choice. There's no reason to make upgrades in this game. NightMare needs a third base or there's no longevity. Yeah, I think Clem's got it now. I mean, he doesn't have a great choice right now, but going Forge on 1.5 base mineral mining because your main's half mined out, it's like, I guess we're trying to get +1 for the Adepts so they 2-shot Marines. Problem, Armor's going to kick in anyway, which I think... Actually, do Adepts get +2? Do they get +2 damage versus light units per attack upgrade? Or is it still just the +1 that they get on their flat? Surely they get an X... No, I don't think it increases their bonus versus light. So I think they still only get +1, which means +1 armor for Terran will completely cancel it out. It'll still take 3 shots to kill a non-stimmed Marine. Not to mention you've got combat shields now anyway. Adepts are coming in one more time. Clem's managed to survive a very scary situation. I think there's a very good reason why Cure and a lot of the Terrans like Maru and Cure mix in SCV scouts in this matchup. But Beyond is not like those players. He's much more like... Clem is like Beyond. He's much more like Beyond. He's a non-scouting Terran who likes to just micro his way out of trouble. And it's a high-risk, high-reward style that is at the forefront of Clem's identity as a player. I don't see him changing this anytime soon. And every game like this where he survives the Hurricane, I think it just gives him more confidence to keep doing what he does. I just think it's incredibly dangerous You might get away with it here in a small weekly cup, but I worry that Classic opens up their very first series of EWC with a big old cheesy opening like this, gets the win, throws Clem out of his element, gets him a little bit tilted, and we know that Clem is a confidence and momentum-based player. If he gets a good start, he can go from there. I don't think he needs to open up too greedy, so I'm hoping we do see Clem play a little bit safer in that series. Nexus goes there. I mean, by the way, I'm casting quite a few games. This is like literally casting this the day I'm flying out to EWC, so I apologize if you're watching this and that match has already happened. You know, some of you might be like, I just watched that match yesterday or a few days ago. You know, obviously recording a few videos before we go and kind of putting them out. But just a heads up in case you guys are kind of confused about the chronology of when I'm casting this match. Adept's moving across the map right now. I feel like right now, NightMare is on round 16 of Desperate All In. These Adepts are just not going to do that much damage. I mean, he can still, yeah, I don't even think he can two-shot SCVs. So that is going to be an issue. Graves, though, does give them 45% increased attack speed, which means those Adepts attack pretty fast. Still not as much raw damage output as Zealots, but the range does help them a lot. And they're going to try and fight here. The SCVs will go down reasonably quickly. And actually, no, they do get two-shot. Never mind, guys. They do get two-shot, even with +1 armor. Ooh, Widowmine. Nice Widowmine shot there. Does get a big hit. Clem doesn't have a lot of healing on this army, but that's because his medevacs are in the main, ruining the Adepts there. He only lost 7 SCVs at home. The main base fight going massively in his favor. Meanwhile, the Stalkers are chasing him away at the front, but at what cost? Remember that NightMare has next to no income in this game. He's going to recall Stalkers right on top of stimmed Bio, and the Bio will pick up and actually get out of there. Blink is not ready. Clem on 2 bases with a 3rd command center floating out. NightMare taps out with the GG, and Clem holds on, weathers the storm. All right, guys. Clem survives a crazy avalanche of attacks in the early game. NightMare in the top right now of Ghost River, and is going to go for a low ground gate, which definitely looks like a forward Zealot pressure if I've ever seen it. So NightMare really does not want to play a standard game against Clem, and this is intelligent, because anyone who's watched any of Clem vs. MaxMax over the last 6 months knows that you're just not going to beat these guys in a standard TVP. They play so many games against each other at such a high mechanical level. You got to create some asymmetry. You got to try and especially catch NightMare or Clem off, sorry, with some rushes wherever possible, and don't play standard against Clem or MaxMax in TVP. Seems to be a pretty common rule amongst most players in the world right now. Okay, we're doing the Cybercore behind the gateway. Interesting placement. Nexus will go down momentarily. 2 SCVs chasing off the probe. It is just a 1 gas expand here for Clem, which is interesting. Not playing double gas 2 games in a row. I feel like double gas is pretty much ubiquitous right now. It's most games of TVP at double gas. But Clem 2 games in a row playing a very passive standard 1 gate expand, and it's going to be on NightMare to find a way to disrupt. I thought NightMare beat Clem in the normal TVP the last time they played. Yeah, he definitely beat him. I remember it was on Clem's birthday, I think, when I played that fun match against Clem a while back. I know NightMare beat him after that. I think NightMare beat him one other time as well. NightMare's Storm usage in the mid-game is fantastic because he just builds more High Templar and spreads them out better than just about anyone else. This is a 3-gate opening, guys. Already building his proxy pylon. Very nice. I don't think we're going to chrono the warp gate at all. I don't think you need to, but I would expect a 3rd gateway to go out at home. Probably the 2nd gate here first of all. It's going to be a pretty quick rush. Clem's playing 3 racks. Old school, baby. Marine into reactor 3 racks. On a map with no ramp. A short map with no ramp. Guys, there's Greed and then there's Clem. And he's going Engineering Bay really early as well. It's the old school 3 racks. Guys, this is the 3 racks. This is the first 3 racks I learned in this matchup. Was from a Clem replay from WCS Austin, like 2017, 2018, I think maybe 2018. It was a very old tournament replay pack back when like Dreamcatcher was in the map pool. And I think he did it against Showtime and a few other people. And there's this 3 racks that I still do to this day. This 3 racks, if you get away with it, you have very fast upgrades and you can even start +1 very early. Downside is it's very tight on the minerals. Notice he doesn't have minerals to build Marines right now. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous if these Adepts can get a good trade against a top-tier Protos player. If you get away with it, it's more efficient than a normal 3 racks, but it's an expensive one. Adepts do go in. Can they get themselves some SCVs? Oh, that Adept refusing to die! Dude, if he can get 1 more SCV, this would be nice, but he doesn't get the shot off. Okay. End of the day, the trading. 2 Marines, 1 SCV for 2 Adepts. It's a good trade for Terran. But There's a gateway up on the front. Warp gate is about to finish. 3 gateways are ready. You can see the 3rd gateway in the main, and they're all transforming now, getting that Eye of Sauron upgrade. Robo and Twilight's coming in. We've got a Stalker here. Would not be surprised to see 3 more Stalkers and a bust. Yeah. He's going to run in. That's enough to one-shot Marines, and there's no bunker. Oh, Clem is just... did he scout at all this game? He's playing so greedy. No bunker, no SCV scout. He's relying on raw numbers, and we know that Stalker's going to ruin him. This is obscenely greedy for Clem. After game 1, you know what Clem did? He said, you tried to all-in me, it didn't work. You wouldn't risk it again. I'm just going to play balls-to-the-wall greed and hope I get away with it. And NightMare's like, dude, there's only one way we play in Korea. It's aggression, it's tight micro, it's in-your-face play, and we're not going to let you get away with that standard, silly European greed that you're used to. In your region, it's a bunch of guys. Like, honestly, I know I've used this analogy before. I got to keep using it. The Europeans play StarCraft like it's like 17th century warfare, maybe 18th century. They're like, and sir, shall we set the battlefield here in this field? And he's like, yes. And we'll fight over these lands, and then we'll have tea afterwards to congratulate the victor. You know, it's sometimes they are a bit too many nice rules and a bit too passive, but NightMare is showing the Korean style of out micro. He's just, the way the Stalkers move, they shoot, they pull back, they shoot, they pull back. With 3 Marauders though, I think he should pull back and regen his shields. Now he's getting a bit antsy, but that Marauder and those Marines are so low on life, you can see he's tempted to click on him. He's got Glaives coming in again. I can't believe he's doing Glaives 2 games in a row. This is ridiculous. And he's going Robo Bay Glaives. What in the heck? Adepts continue to come in. He's going to try and take out that other Marauder. NightMare's trading really well. These SCVs not dying. The Stim comes in, but the Marauders need to be focusing down the Stalkers, not the Adepts. Going after the Adepts, I mean, those are not really the high-value prize. It's the Stalkers that are 175 resources each. Oh, he's trying to bait another Stim, was he? Oh, stays a bit too long with that Stalker. Does lose it. Stalker for our Marauders, normally not too bad, but I think he could have picked that up a little earlier. Warp Prism Micro is nice, and this allows him to protect his gateway by threatening the counterattack. Colossus comes in behind us. There's a battery at home. Glaives is finishing up. Now, Adepts are just nowhere near as good statistically as Zealots, but because they are a ranged unit, there is arguments that they work a little better with Colossus Disruptor armies, and they definitely did at the start of Legacy of the Void, but they got nerfed a few times. And there's a reason we don't use them, except as like a harassment early game unit or for a big all-in in this matchup. It's bizarre, but he's actually doing a 2-base Colossus Adept all-in. Dude, NightMare's playing some build orders. And when I say build orders, I mean crazy. I mean, the man's inspired by Haas right now, and this is what you got to do against Clem. I'm telling you guys, in standard games, he's hard to beat. Clem somehow has weathered the storm. Is Clem ahead on supply right now, significantly? How is he up 10 supply? I mean, Colossus will do good, though. Hey, the Colossus has something to say about that supply lead. Marauders don't do much damage to Adepts as well, because they're not armored units. With these extra Adepts coming out, there's no running. No running from Adept Shades. He's going to try and take out the Colossus. Can he get it? Oh, Clem! Clem's like, well, we're going to lose these guys anyway. We might as well go down fighting. Does take out the Colossus, which I think makes that... I mean, obviously, it's the best value you're going to get. You're going to get hunted down either way, right? The Marauders do evade. He's got nothing at home, though. He just has no production. It's just... I mean, it's 3 barracks pumping, but he doesn't have medevacs yet. More Adepts coming in. The next Colossus is out. Oh, there we go. A little bit slow to move. We're going to get him to join the front. Is he not going? I feel like he's doing it all in, but he's leaving his most important unit at home right now. It can't just be me who thinks it's crazy that he's left the Colossus at home. Adept Drop is doing good damage, though. He's starting to slow down Clem. Clem doesn't have any medevacs out just yet. The first ones are building. Adept's picking off a few more SCVs and Marines. Oh, his micro is very slick. The Marauder counterattack does come in. The Colossus comes back, though, doing a tickle of damage, and those Marauders will go down to the Adept Shades. More Adepts and Stalkers on the front. The Prism's going to come in here, drop in the back door. There are Marauders on top of it, though. I think just picking up and getting those Adepts out. He wants to warp in on top of these Marines. He's going to come in and warp right there. He's going to try and warp in right there, but the Marines are close by. This is a dangerous move. He's going to go for it. Mass Adept warp in. Who even needs the Colossus on the front line? Meanwhile, that Marauder is killing 5 probes. NightMare is tunnel visioning. His Colossus are finally arriving that he left behind. But dude, that Marauder's killing multiple probes, which is kind of crazy. He finally pulls the probes to fight against this. The Adept shading into the main base. NightMare playing a little bit sloppy, but it doesn't matter because Sloppy Joe's is exactly what he's serving onto Clem's plate right now. A big old giant ladle of mystery meat. He says, eat it up and be thankful you could be starving, you dirty Terran. I don't know why NightMare just turned into an angry lunch lady with a mullet, but for some reason, that's the mental image I get when I look at this playstyle. I'm talking about an aggressive serving of low-grade, mass-produced food being delivered to some children who better count themselves lucky. Flashbacks to my own high school experience. Yeah, they didn't give us school lunches, but our librarian did kind of look like that, and she was a bit of a psycho. She didn't like us reading books. Anyways, Adept shading into the main base, going to hold position, kill a lot of SCVs. The Marines and the Marauders are there. And the tanks there going to take a fair bit of damage. It's over, man. Clem's just got nothing left. Third command center somehow finished in this game. I don't know when he built that, because that was not the natural. That was a third command center he built, but he was just getting overrun. Going for the 3 racks engineering bay on a map with no ramp. No ramp is crazy, guys. 3 racks, engineering bay, no ramp, no bunker is so greedy. And he gets punished for it pretty hard in the opening, and then NightMare with the Glaive Adept Colossus build. He was following up with Dark Shrine. NightMare is throwing the kitchen sink at Clem. This is the perfect time now for NightMare in game 3 to swap into a macro build. All right, let's find out. Is Clem just going to 1-racks expand again? I think this is a perfect time to play double gas and get a bit of tempo. You do not want to be playing defensive against a guy like NightMare. He's showing he can throw the kitchen sink at you, and you have to be getting a bit more aggressive as Clem. If he keeps 1-racks expanding, I will be disappointed in his strategic choices. On the other hand, NightMare, I'd love to see him try and macro here, do a bit of a greedier opening. Already, doesn't seem like he's building gateways in aggressive positions. This seems like a defensive stance, which is good. Most likely just probe scouting for any of these barracks here as well. Okay, so, guys, he should be building a second gas. Hey, he pulled the guy off minerals for it. Yes. All right. Clem's going to play double gas. This is a smart way to play. Your opponents throw crazy stuff at you. Just get your tech up, get more mobility, get a bit more safety going as well. This is just going to, if you don't want to SCV scout, playing double gas is a nice in-between to make yourself extra safe against anything the Protos can throw at you in the early stages. So NightMare here scouting a lot for proxies, interestingly. Could be a Stargate opening. Do you really want to play Phoenix Colossus? Yeah, maybe. NightMare's not a big Phoenix Colossus guy. I think he excels at that Storm style in the mid-game. But we'll see how it goes. Who's NightMare? Great Protos player. Never really been a tournament winning player. It's always been up there in GSL. I guess his most famous moment was like, what year was it when he did the Blink DT charge lot all in? There was a GSL game after they added the Blink upgrade to the DTs, maybe 2017. He was like the first guy who surprised his opponent, where he charged with Zealots from the front, and his opponent tried to stim and stutter step back, but he blinked his DTs behind the bio at the same time, so the bio couldn't move, and just like eviscerated an entire army of bio in the most disgusting fight of all time. Like, he was like, he basically like was banking up units waiting for the Terran to move out, then he just charged on top and blinked behind him, and it was beautiful. NM is also a state in America, unbeknownst to most people in the country. The worst thing in America is when people, they always use their state abbreviations and they assume you know what it means. They're like, yeah, I'm from thingamajig LBT or something. Like, what? Lettuce, banana, tomato? I don't know what, like, what? Get it, friggin', you guys use your words. We don't live there. No one knows. No one knows you. If it's NY, we'll get it. We might understand CA for California. We're not going to understand any other ones if we're not in America, you know? I have a friend from AK, like Arizona. Yeah, I'd be like, that's cool, man. Like, what was it like being birthed from the barrel of a Kalashnikov? Like, what's that even mean? Like, you're from AK? Like, what the frig are you talking about? Speak English, bro. Speak freedom. I thought you guys were from America. I thought you spoke the freedom language. It's a good catch. Does manage to catch the first adept. Guys, NightMare, get out of here. Guys, NightMare's, I like this move forward. If he can get the Reaper and shade back to a battery, but there's no batteries. He has no batteries right now. Second adept, if he can kill the Hellion, that'll be good. He does get the Hellion, but there's so many Reapers and Hellions here. Oh god, he's got no defense, guys. He's dead. Is he dead? Is NightMare just dead? He's got one Reddit point adept. He's trying to hide his probes. Oh god, they're stacked for the Hellions. He's got to kill the Hellion. Oh no, okay, warps in one more adept. His warp gate's about to finish. He's gonna be able to warp in about 7 seconds. His probes are just trying to run. The Reaper grenades from Clem are brutal. Clem's on a timer though. He knows more units will be warping in momentarily. Stalker's warping into that side. The Reapers are having a party. Clem committing hard to the Reaper Alien. That's exactly what we wanted to see. No safety shield battery for NightMare. And this is why a lot of the Protoss players have actually stopped scouting and instead just saying, I'm just going to use the extra minerals from scouting to build a shield battery every game and make a few more gateway units and rely on the adept scouting, because it blindly prepares you for stuff like this. Look at this, guys. Marines and Cyclones coming through. It's non-stop pressure. Liberator coming out behind it. 12 probes have gone down. Clem, And this is honestly, I would say the biggest problem with Clem's practice is that he often just wins games by just like attacking people with a handful of units and then just microing well. And sometimes he gets games that are a bit too easy. I don't think Classic will crumble like this to this pressure, most likely. Maybe these aren't the best practice. I don't know, man. It still looks like he's just got this pretty much in the bag. That Cyclone ain't getting hit. He's too good at dodging projectiles with the medevac, picking off probes now, adding more DPS. Oh, the blink in to get the Cyclone. A very surprising maneuver. Actually pays off pretty well there for NightMare. Unfortunately for NightMare, he's down 6 probes, which is, of course, nasty. Yeah, a lot of damaged Stalkers there. I like the pullback, but that blink should easily kill him. Yeah. Oh, he's going to get a... Oh, you're kidding me. Clem, that's an illegal move. There's no way he should have been able to get out there with that Cyclone, guys. Right? That's an illegal move. I'm giving Clem a yellow card for obnoxiously good plays there, guys. That's just disgusting. A few Marines do get caught on the rally, but he's got a tank. He's got Marines. He can repair both the medevac and the Cyclone. And look at that with the tank there. The Stalkers can't really find anything. Lib's going to come in and siege. He had the Stalkers in position. They move out at the perfect time for Clem. The worst time for NightMare. These Marines are getting gunned down. Damaged Stalkers are still Stalkers, but look at that. Liberator says, lol, 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 lol. Where's your economy, Protos player? Where's your economy, Protos player? Sorry, guys. Every time I see a Terran butchering a Protoss, I feel like Artosis somewhere just like has this big smile on his face, and he's like, yeah, yeah. And it's like, it's not even a StarCraft 1 Protoss, but I just feel like there's this like cross-game kind of, you know, catharsis that carries over. Wow, your units teleported tier 1. You can build them anywhere on the map. It's so fair. To be fair, Artosis was more of a Protoss player towards his latter years of actively laddering a lot in StarCraft 2. So I'm pretty sure he'd be much more complaining about Terran units than he would about Protoss in StarCraft 2. He's going to blink on the tank, take it out. Oh my gosh, so many Stalkers going down. He gets a tank for like 3 Stalkers there. And you can see down 12 workers. I mean, NightMare he's in a dead end right now. He's trying to make a Robo Bay. It's just kind of like, you know, we're watching an old person who's kind of like, they've stuck their car on like a side-on angle in between 2 other cars. They're trying to like, you know when someone's trying to do a 27-point turn to get out of a tight spot? They're like really old, so they keep turning in the wrong direction and stuff, and you're just kind of like, oh god, this is a disaster. Did he not get the tank? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Clem with the fast repair barely saves it. The Liberator comes back in again and denies even more mining time. My gosh, this is unreasonable. A series of execution by Clem. And to me, I love the Adept openings here, but look at that. Clem even ferries units to the high ground, cuts off the exit path with the Marines. Tanks are up, 3 racks are building, 3rd command center goes down. Clem is up 10 workers, and NightMare right now has 2 Stalkers and wishful thinking. Wishful thinking and hopes and dreams right now. Clem has just got a $300 million aid package to fund his military effort. Meanwhile, NightMare is getting hopes, dreams, and well wishes, you know? Essentially things that can't be used to buy firearms right now. Clem, on the other hand, is rich. He's got money, and he's come with a big old army here. Stim ain't done just yet, so it's a bit of an awkward push timing. Good micro by NightMare. You know, you got to pay NightMare. It's just one of those things where this always happens, right? When a player like loses all their stuff and they've only got a few things to focus on, the amazing micro starts to come out. But if you can get that amazing micro when you're still in a good position, that's when it really matters. Nexus does get cancelled. 3rd base is a problem as well. Oh, those tank shots on the clumped Stalkers hurt so much, man. Remember, Interference Matrix isn't here, but he can throw auto turrets or anti-armor missiles. Anti-armor missiles will massively help the Marines. Colossus comes forward. Colossus getting hit. Ooh. I think it's going to be an anti-armor missile. I think Clem's going to want to stim soon. Tanks are just in such a good position, though. It's really hard for NightMare to get anything done at all. And I like that Clem managed to survive against such a scary position in the series. Went for the heavy pressure in Game 3 and has just kind of rolled over his opponent. Business as usual. You know, I really look at Clem's chances going into the World Championship, guys, and I go, if people let him get in his comfort zone, he very well could win. I just think guys like Dark, especially guys like Serral, guys like Hero, Maru, I don't see any of them letting Clem get in his comfort zone, and that's where the big problems for him lie in this tournament. It's a few of those players who are going to disrupt him and throw him off his game. Kind of think what NightMare did here, but with even better execution in those first 2 games, and you can imagine It's going to be a hard tournament for him. Once he gets going, though, once he gets to a standard situation and there's multitasking, macro, micro, all the fundamentals, Clem is hard to match. Possibly the greatest player of all time when it comes to raw fundamentals. But StarCraft's a vast game. It's about more than that. It's about strategy, build orders, and a whole lot of other things as well, and how you play to each opponent. So I've really got my eyes on it. I think Clem's getting more and more experience in Korea playing against these sort of crazy styles, and this is probably the best preparation Clem has ever had for a world championship and a big tournament, because he's actually in Korea getting cheesed, getting rushed, playing against this crazy stuff on a daily basis. So hats off to Clem for putting himself out there and giving himself the best shot possible. We'll see how it pays off in the big tournament. GG, well played.